Within the Centrify Privilege Elevation service, Centrify Zone roles are used to assign entitlements to users. These entitlements may be for server login, network access, or privilege elevation on Windows, Linux, and Unix. In the spirit of Zero Trust privilege, our goal is not to grant all roles and rights to admins out of the gate, but to confer them just in time, i.e. only as and when needed. So in this demo, we'll show how a manager using SailPoint IdentityIQ can request an additional Centrify Zone role on behalf of one of her team. Let's step into the shoes of that team member, Centrify Requester. She's a security admin and today needs to analyze security logs on a Windows Server box. Now here we are on that Windows box logged in as Centrify Requester. Note that even as a security administrator, we're not logged in as a local administrator. We're logged in as ourselves with least privilege as a security best practice. We need to review the security logs to investigate a potential breach. On the desktop, let's open the Event Viewer application. Now, since the Event Viewer requires administrative rights to access, UAC, or User Account Control, demands a step-up authentication. Now, we don't have administrator credentials, since, again, for best practice, shared privileged accounts like administrator are vaulted away for emergency break glass access only. However, since this is within our job function, we should be able to leverage Centrify to run Event Viewer with elevated privileges. If we try to do that by clicking Run with Privilege, you see it fails because the necessary Centrify role has not yet been assigned to us. Let's double check by opening the Centrify Authorization Center from the systray icon. You can see here the only Centrify role that we have is for Windows Login. So we're going to need to request that additional role. Now requests like this can of course be made from within the Centrify Vault Portal UI. It can be made from ServiceNow, or as in this demo, from SailPoint IdentityIQ. In addition, I could make this request myself, but I'm going to ask my manager to do it on my behalf. So let's switch to our manager's SailPoint session now. The access request workflow begins with the Manage User Access tile here on the desktop. This request is for our team member, Centrify Requester, so let's search for her name. Now there's only one match, and that's the user that we want, so we'll select that and we'll move to the next step where we select the role that we want to assign. Now SailPoint has visibility to many different objects, and not only from Centrify, so on this screen we need to filter the scope. First we can select the application that SailPoint uses to talk to the Centrify Cloud Platform. Now your application name may be different, but it's whatever name you gave it during installation. Finally, let's choose the asset type. This application has visibility to two types of assets stored in the Centrify Cloud Platform: accounts and passwords, and zone roles. We want zone roles, so I'll select that and click Apply to filter the list. So here we see the final list of Centrify Zone roles that SailPoint has acquired directly from the Centrify platform. Let's scroll down, it should be close to the bottom. Okay, let's try the next page. There's the Windows Event Viewer role to be granted for use on the F1R1 DC3 server. So let's select that. Now to the final review screen. That looks good, but our best practice is not to grant permanent static roles and rights. So from here we can time box the request. We'll grant the role for 1 day. We'll also add a comment for the approver. And we'll submit. We're back to the home page where we can click on Track My Requests. And at the top you see the pending request. It's waiting on Test Centrify Approver to approve it. So let's switch now to that approver's SailPoint session. You see we have two outstanding requests in the Approvals tile. And the latest Approvals pane shows me the one for Centrify Requester, which is the one we want. So let's select that. We see it's a request to add the Event Viewer role for the server F1R1DC3. At this point, we could adjust the time frame, review comments, add my own comments, but let's leave the time frame alone and just add our own comment. And then we'll approve it. Now, if there were multiple requests, I could selectively approve or deny each one individually. Okay, with that done, under the covers, the SailPoint system will now reach out to the Centrify Cloud platform and assign the Centrify Event Viewer Zone role to the Centrify requester user with an expiration of 24 hours from now. Let's go back to her manager's SailPoint session and do a quick check of the status from her perspective. We'll click Details, and this page confirms the requested items. It reports the interaction with the Centrify approver who approved the request, and it confirms an add operation applied to Centrify by the SailPoint provisioning engine. So we're in good shape. Finally, let's go back to that Windows server where we're logged in as the original requester. Let's first check to see if we now have the additional role. And there it is. So the final proof of the pudding is to try and elevate privilege on the application. So we'll right-click, select Run with Privilege, and voila. As you can see, we now have visibility to the event logs, including the security log. Now, once this time frame has expired, the temporary grant will be automatically removed by Centrify, so we'll be back to a more secure, least privileged state for this user. So that concludes our demonstration of how we can support a zero-trust, least privilege model, giving administrators the ability to request additional roles and rights from SailPoint IdentityIQ just in time as their administrative duties require.